Now, we know that we've been seeing signs, and which is a blessing. I mean, we see major things. We've been seeing major things for the last several years. And as we get closer and closer to the end, we expect that we are going to continue to see fascinating things that are just screaming in our face. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. Tonight we're gonna look at some of these things just to show you, if you don't already know, that we are very much right at that sweet spot where the Lord certainly could come back at any time, and so we're excited about that. Yeah, I am wearing a nice shirt, Night Watch. Hope to see you here, there, but especially near Bro Chooch. If you're interested in getting one of these shirts, I will leave in the description box when the video's over what website you could go to. It's $14 and some change, or might be $15 if you round up. I don't get any money for it, but it's an awfully nice shirt. Let's draw our attention to the red heifers. Now, these red heifers, we know, are used for purification for the temple. The Temple Institute made it very clear that they are very invested and want very much to go through the process of sacrificing a kosher red heifer so that they could use the ashes of that red heifer to purify the temple area and to purify the priests and to basically purify the whole nation. All they need is the ashes of one heifer. Now, something interesting happened in 2022. Five red heifer candidates from Texas were purchased and flown into Israel, where they're currently being cared for and observed. Well, at least 4 of them are, because one got disqualified. So at the time, there were 5 kosher qualifying red heifers. One got disqualified for having too many white hairs. He might have landed up being somebody's kosher dinner, but the other 4 are still alive and thriving and qualified as of March 2023. And so in not too much more time, we can expect that one of these red heifers would be sacrificed. Now, by 2024, these red heifers should be 3 years of age, and that's the optimal age in which they would be sacrificed. So if there's no defects found on them, like white hairs, and nobody can use them for work, and there's other stipulations, but if these red heifers, at least one of them, remains qualified, then they're probably going to go ahead and sacrifice her and get the ashes and do their ceremony. We know very clearly that the temple will be up and running during the tribulation period. Now, I agree with this posting that the third temple more than likely will be built in the early part of the 7-year tribulation. But make no mistake, it is not necessary for the temple to be up before the rapture occurs. But the temple needs to be up and running by the latest, the middle of Daniel's 70th week, which would be 3.5 years in order for the abomination that causes desolation. When that'll be done by the Antichrist when he enters into the most holy place and declares himself to be God, which is absolutely blasphemous. Okay, and that will cause the daily sacrifice to end, and will cause also many Jews to see the light and see that this guy is an imposter, actually an enemy of the Jews. And many will come to a saving knowledge of the true Messiah, which is Yeshua, or Jesus. Okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind here. We keep an eye on these red heifers as long as we can. And I'm excited about it because I know that God is a God that is sovereign and he allows things to happen. I'm not saying he's pleased that his people are still, well, the Jewish people are still looking to reinstitute the sacrifices of the Mosaic law when there is the one true sacrifice that was already offered for the sins of mankind, and that was in the person, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, right? They did not accept him. But just keep in mind that God is not done dealing with the nation of Israel. And this will be a time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob's name was changed to Israel after he wrestled with God, right, at what was called afterwards Bethel, house of God. And we know that the 12 sons, the 12 tribes have come from Jacob. This is a time of Jacob's trouble. It's not the time of the church's trouble. And it's not a time for those who have already had their Savior take on the wrath of God for them, that we are no longer appointed for wrath. This is what what we have to be thankful for, because the tribulation period is all about God pouring out his wrath. And those red heifers, right? The Lord is allowing these red heifers to be in play because this is just going exactly according to God's plan of the end times. And that's what I'm not excited for the fact that the temple is going to be up in the red heifer. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think that speaks against the work of the cross. The temple sacrifice and the daily oblation is not needed anymore. But until the Jews see this and understand what Jesus has done, they believe that it's unnecessary. Matter of fact, there's many Jews, Hasidic Jews, that believe that the temple being rebuilt will usher in the Messiah. Okay? They're going to get the wrong Messiah. Remember when Jesus said, I come in my Father's name and you do not accept me, and the one who comes in his own name, he you will accept? Jesus was saying, listen, I come from God the Father and you do not accept me. In the future, there's going to be a man who comes in his own name, the Antichrist, and you're going to receive him. Now, I know the Grand Poobah said that in front of the United Nations a couple of years ago, that I come in my own name. That doesn't mean that he's the Antichrist, but the Antichrist is going to come about in that way, right?